Good morning, everyone. So we are finally out with the much asked mains answer writing analysis series for APSC CC 2024. Yes, March 17 ত আপোনাৰ prelims আছে, কিন্তু তাৰ লগতে আপোনালোকে গমেই নাপাব কি মেইনছ আনসাৰ ৰাইটিংৰ কাৰণে কেতিয়া দেৰি হৈ গ'ল. So this is what I suggest to most of my students, যে always dedicate about 20 to 30 minutes into your answer writing, then continue the rest of your preparation. So in that 20 to 30 minutes আপোনালোকক কেনেকৈ মই best help কৰিব পাৰোঁ, hence I have brought about this series. Welcome to Sandpaper Academy for Civil Services, and I am your educator Ashmita Rekha Bora. I was ranked 9 in ALRS APSC CSC 2019. So let's begin. So this was one of the papers that we gave to our students in 4th of January 2024. Junto amar almost second day asile bodhoy, and the topic of it was Indian society. So what we had asked, both of them are of 15 marks and must be of 200 words. So what we had asked in first question, what is the real to real life effect in crime against women in India or Indian society? What is the real to real life effect in crime against women in Indian society? And the second question that we asked was, even after more than 70 years of reservation, the upliftment of actual strata of downtrodden and discriminated population has not received or achieved its required position. Comment. So these were the two questions that we posed. So let's check one of the answers that one of our students have given. Okay, so this is one of the very good answers that we received amongst our students. Hence, I am putting this up for the analysis. So the question they have given, that what is the real to real life effect on crime against women in Indian society? So what the student has written, that real life. First, he has gone on to a very good intro. In that intro, he has written what is meant by real life. So jetia ami question to sound, real life to real life is the hero of the question. The whole question is depending upon real to real. Itia ami real to real to interpret korbo lagibo into different items. Je ami ki bujisu, real mane ki bujisu, real mane ki bujisu. Okay? So the student has gone on to write about it. The so-called perfect life is the one as shown in movies or the life led by the actors. On the other hand, real life is the world where all of us live in. Even though there is a difference between real and real life, but slowly and steadily real lives have started taking twist and slowly acquiring the traits of real lives, thereby taking a toll in Indian society as well as on the crime rate against women. Okay? So itia what problem did we see in most of our answers, jetia ami etu bostu beleg student ba saisilu, that most of them thought je both positive and negative effect of crime against women has to be written in this answer. Kyunki amar eta psychology ase, we have this psychology that every APSC answer should be balanced, that both positive and negative aspect ami likhibo lagibo, both positive and negative answer ami aspect ami likhibo lagibo, lastot ami eta way ahead dibo lagibo. So a bostu to eta one size fit all approach hoy, which is wrong. Enuka nohoy ki protittu question ate we will have to give a positive answer, we'll have to give a negative answer, then we'll have to give a way ahead. Jot positivity aspect e nai tat ami positive bhoram kor pora. So zabardasti ka positive bhorai going to lab nai. So what we are going to do, we are going to first look at the tone of the question. Crime against women in Indian society. Crime against women in Indian society kom hoise neki? Kom to hua nai. So positive korba likhibo apuni. Every day crime against women is increasing. So jeta real to real life effect hudise, this is obviously asking the greater negative effect. The greater negative effect on crime against women in Indian society. আমি এটো লার্জার পার্সপেক্টিভ চাব লাগিব, তাত আৰু সবতে আৰু একেটাই ফর্মুলা ভৰাই পজিটিভও লিখিম, নেগেটিভও লিখিম, ৱে আহেডও লিখিম, এটা নিউট্ৰেল point of view di apna neutral point of view ama crime against women ok nalage. Crime against women increase hoise, so we are only going to highlight how real to real life effect is increasing the crime against women in society. This is what the question is asking. All right, so first of all, this student has correctly caught the tone of the question, thereby taking a toll in Indian society. tar mane teo buji paise ki question to demand ki hoy. So apnaloke question to 3 to 4 times tetialoke buji lobo, jetialoke pori lobo, jetialoke bhalke buji na pae, and don't take a one size fit all approach. That is not going to work in mains. As well as crime rate against women. Okay, the student has correctly understood what is being asked. All right, so let's go ahead. The annual report of National Crime Records Bureau (NCRB) revealed a hike of 7.1% increase of crime against women since 2010. See, the student has substantiated his intro with a data. Substantiated his intro with a data. So tells into intro dise, intro to mane it is not a flimsy shallow intro. Tells a intro to likhise ki toll hoise in Indian society hetu teo substantiate korse with a data. Ito teor good memory hoy that he can write 7.1% increase. Kintu eta bostu koi diu, whenever you quote data, be very careful. Be very careful. Jodi you are not sure about the data, tetya hole write about 7% or more than 5%. Okay, so enokwa bostu likhok, less do nilikhiboy on this prospect. Less is a wrong way of writing. More than 5%, you know, more than 6%, more or less 7%. So jodi apuni exact number to loi sure nohoy, you can beat around the bush a little bit, kintu eta number apunaloke dibo lagibo. All right, okay, now let's move ahead. So he has already written the annual report of Crime Record Bureau revealed on this hike 7.1% increase. Okay, so his intro is well formed. Now he is going to the main answer of what is been asked, the real to real life effect. The real to real life effect. Role of media effect in crime against women in society. Number 1, toxic masculinity being promoted in mainstream cinemas, which instill the idea of male toxic hegemony. This has led to escalation of crime against women. Movies like Kabir Singh Animal. Okay, good. Why good? Because number 1, I am interested in the way the person has presented the point. Enukwa nohoy ki toxic masculinity likhi thoi dise. He has not, gone into explaining the answer. He has properly explained his point ki how idea of male toxic hegemony has been instilled. This has led to the escalation of crime, and he has given real time examples also, that any havat the point is not being put. So when you substantiate a point with data and example, always remember that you are adding brownie points. You are adding brownie points, and every point is important when you are fighting for your slot in the holy list. Jodi apunaloke eta point okane fight nokore, then apuni keteba 0.5 marks okaneo you might miss the rank. So hekarne everything has to be done right when it comes to mains. So teo example dile, data dile. So he has substantiated the first point. Let's move ahead. Normalization of rape. He's right. Indian movies have frequently related the division between good and bad, where rape was frequently presented as an instrument of control. Exceptionally good clarity of thoughts. Okay. Next, promotion of eve teasing. The common refrain in cinema is which a man refuses to accept a woman's rejection is advanced and finally get into device. This scene promotes eve teasing in society. Correct. Objectification of women. Item songs or popular interludes inserted in movies for entertainment objectify women as an item. Item songs often portray women in dressing in modern clothing, dancing in front of drunk men, thereby weaponizing modern clothing and conveying the harmful notion that women who wore modern revealing clothing do so for male attention. So I will just cut this part. Item song often portrays women dressing in A to nalage, they were weaponizing to thakok. This, let it stay. In front of drunk men, the answer got too realistic. We don't need to be that realistic. Don't be too realistic. At the end of the day, we are writing for a formal exam. So the student had the right intention, but the wording were wrong. So A part to na lage. So thereby weaponizing nahoy, direct we can start from weaponizing modern clothing and conveying the harmful notion that women who wore modern revealing clothes na lage, who have embraced modernism do so for male attention can be done. So ekhini pa ekhini loke olopan it got too realistic. Ami jodi eto koman less realistically likhu, more formally, tetia hole it will be a very good point. Okay, then promotion of abusive language towards women. Popular dialogues like pyar se de rahe ho, rakh lo warna thappad is fine, eto kobo pare because it actually happened. Promotes use of abusing language towards women. As per study of Oxfam India reported that 95% of young women surveyed, boys played derogatory item songs when they walked by, used them as tool of sexual harassment. Very good. Again another data has been given which proves that the dialogue is not only given for giving color to the answer. It's not that ki only if you give a color to the answer then you will get good points. That color has to be balanced by a serious data of Oxfam India. This is a what? This is a very this data is very responsibly given. Oxfam or data too, we can consider it to be a serious data. So when you report it, to data pur kar dibo pare, you can give government data, then you can give departmental data, government data, departmental data, then you can give data of international organizations, then you can give data of important national organizations as well, who are not governmental organizations as well. Khali make sure that whichever data you are giving, it should be correct, and if not correct, you can beat around the bush. Okay, work by using tool of sexual harassment. So the time has come for Indian media to create content that promotes gender equality and challenges traditional gender roles. By doing so, they can create a more equitable and just society. So good ending, end is good. Okay, so ami yat sao ki what more other points can we add. So what more can we add to the question ba answer. So this is the ideal answer that we presented from the institute. Then what we have written, normalizing crime against women, that they have already, the student had already written. Unrealistic expectation of women and associated crimes. So this is one of the things that we can write. Whenever the real life reaction doesn't match the real life story, the criminal cannot comprehend how to handle the situation that leads to crime like acid attacks and raids. Many real stories have portrayed even that. So to student ও এটা weight লিখিছিলে, যদি আপোনালোকৰ মনত আছে কি rape is an instrument of control বুলি তেওঁ লিখিছিলে, আৰু eve teasing কেনেকৈ বাহে. So more or less he has also written the same way that we have. Perpetration of misogyny. Stories in Bollywood many times show a feminist character in negative light and timid character in lead highlight. Such portrayals had a deep impact on impressionable minds of girl children and teenagers, making them feel that speaking up against oppression is bad, and that leads to further escalation of crime against women, be it dowry related oppression of cyber crimes. So a point ami add korbo paru tat je ami like when we have written about misogyny, toxic masculinity, we have written about eve teasing, we have about perpetration of this that. So tat ami misogyny, toxic masculinity and perpetration of misogyny more or less is the same. So tar eta deep impact on society kenuka hobo hetu ami highlight korbo lagibo. Stereotype and frequent display of domestic violence, hetu normalizing of crimes. Other student had already written that. On reel the said gender roles of women and men is displayed. that influences the society in the manner which keeps the workforce unutilized by the pressure of family and society. The women who enter the workforce by will often have to tackle the psychology women belong to kitchen and further escalated to harassment against women in workforce. Also, there have been rare times when a female character is shown to have taken action against domestic violence. This further dims down the courage of the abused women. There has been a 27% increase in crime against women in last 10 years according to NCRB, with the highest crime against women in Uttar Pradesh followed by Rajasthan and Maharashtra. So last 6 years or 27% increase हुआ बोली कोई, but I think the student wrote about 7.1%. So there is this discrimination की difference in data. So I think whichever is correct should be portrayed. और यदि 7.1% to भूल है, then it's a very drastic and a big mistake to do, because there is a huge difference between 7.1% and 27%. So whichever is right should be put up. I think 27% is right. All the states being in Hindi spoken belt, we must realize that the Bollywood movies in this region, realize the effect of Bollywood movies in this region, Thappar, Animal, blah blah blah. There should be collective responsibility of all associated with cinema and social media to understand the impact movies can put on people and then create content. So this is the intro, this is the conclusion that was being put forward in the ideal answer from the side of the institution. So Gompale, more or less both the answers have been written in the same line. Can you realize koribo that the language of the ideal answer is more formal. The language of the ideal answer is more formal, although more or less both the points have been similar. Both points have been similar. Kintu both points similar hua pisotu, there is a more formality in the ideal answer. So a formality too, we will have to bring it up. So although the student had a very good understanding of the question, he will get a little less mark because of the informality of the language. Okay, so formality has to be induced in places. I had given this student a very good mark. I am forgetting right now what mark did I give, but what is the good thing about this about this answer is that it has a balance between data and real life situations. It had a dynamic tone to it. Also, this was a very interesting answer. This was a very interesting answer. Aru enuka nohoy ki interesting answer likhile is a marks pam. That interesting answer has to be balanced by data and real life examples. Only then it is going to be a good answer. So I had given very good marks to the student. I am forgetting right now what marks did I give. But let's go to the next question. That even after more than 70 years of reservation, the upliftment of actual strata of downtrodden and discriminated population has not achieved its required position. So reservation, what actually has been asked, that more than 70 years hoi gol, tothapiu itia sabo we are asking about subcaste, subcategorization. Why? Because within the so-called backward classes, a certain section has like achieved more development than the rest. So question is around that subcaste concept or the subcaste demand. Even after 70 years of reservation, the upliftment of actual strata of downtrodden and discriminated population has not achieved its required position. Answer to that comment asile. So comment mane ki you will have to tell your point of view. Ki hoy ne no hoy. Of course no hoy. Mane of course hoy. Reservation goi pua nai to the very very cornermost part of the so-called backward classes. Hekane to subcaste or subcategorization or demand nahi se. So let us see what the student has written. Reservation in India is all about reserving access to seats, all about likhibon alag hai. Reserving access to seats in government jobs, educational institutes and even legislature to certain section of the society. Also known as affirmative action, the reservation is also seen to be a positive discrimination. Very good. Reservation in India is a government policy, okay, backed by the constitution. To an extent, reservation as a policy is pursued by the state to correct the historical injustice done by certain castes by the so-called upper caste. Very good intro. This intro is further substantiated. The Constitution of India provides reservation only for SC and STs. Article 15.4, 16.9. OBCs were included in the ambit of reservation in 1991, Article 15.5. In 2019, economically weaker section have been included. Okay. So this is how, when you will write an intro, you will have to substantiate the intros with the articles. So the intro has been substantiated by a good, grip on constitutional articles. Khali eta bostu yat bhul ase. The OBCs were included in the ambit of reservation is 91, not 91. They were included in 1990. Then they were modified in 1991. They were challenged in 1992 under India Sahani case, also known as the Mandal case. Then in 1993, creamy layer similar kotha bura hi goisila. So be very careful when you quote them. Kintu hobo baki 2019 quotation thike ase, SC ST quotation thike ase, that will be put right the time from reservation. So a quotation bu thike ase, to he karone olopman kome marks kata hobo. However, even after 70 years of reservation, the upliftment of downtrodden and discriminated population has not achieved its required position. Okay, so in the intro, it has been well placed that the writer is of the opinion that it has not achieved its required position. Okay. Now the student has gone on to write the reasons. It has not reached the intended beneficiaries because of many reasons like difficult terrain, awareness, low education. Okay. People who reach the high post are not doing sufficient to help others from the community. Okay, but it has a less important points that can be put at the back. Due to less education ratio in parts of the country, people are still working according to caste. Okay, good. Recognize their full potential by entering into reservation system. National Commission of SC are not working properly. This is also not the way it should be put. Not optimum working by enuka kiba likhibo lagibo ami, not working properly bole likhile you will get very less marks. Vote bank politics thike ase, but it has to be substantiated by elucidated, whatever elucidated. Generally, poor people require incentive other than reservation like student roll. Okay, all these measures prevent weaker section for reaching higher education path, leading to their low enrollment ratio. It is sure that India has to move away from reservation someday, but the continued discrimination of low education shows that the time has not ripened yet. Very good conclusion. Very good conclusion. A balanced conclusion and a very good conclusion. Khali the only minuses in the answer is this wrong. And there should have been more elucidation on this part. Our eketai problem, there is a little informality in the language. A informality to alopman formalole jabo lagibo. So let us check how the ideal answer has been written from the institution. So let us see how the ideal answer has been written from the side of the institution. Reservation is the biggest tool of the constitution, has provided to achieving justice and equality in a deep divided caste-based Indian society. ठीक है? Provided reservation even after 70 years, we come across incidents like a so-called higher person physically assaulting a so-called lower caste groom for riding a pony in his wedding. There are still suicides happening in colleges due to caste-based discrimination. So it cannot be said the actual strata of discriminated and downtrodden population has been achieved. Okay. So the intro has also, like the student, confirmed that downtrodden and discriminated population indeed have not achieved its required position. Lack of awareness in terms of facility for the backward class, the student has also written this point. Lack of confidence and political support. So this is how you have to put what the student had written, vote bank politics. Monot ase ne apnalokor? Vote bank politics to অলপমান হজায় পঢ়ায় অলপ denting painting কৰি you will have to put the point in a very formal way. Lack of confidence and political support. People who need the actual benefit of reservation of it don't have the confidence to ask for it. They think that we do not deserve it. Gom paise? Years of oppression have led away to their easy intimidation by everyone, which makes them unwilling to seek their right. In the same line, often political parties also prefer to deal with the downtrodden class with easier freebies and simpler demands, due to which the class lacks political support. Okay? Non-availability of subcategorized caste-based reservation. Caste-based census, specifically the ones done in Bihar, have shown that how some scheduled and other backward classes have fared better than the rest. The ones who have fared better are naturally in a more advantageous position with better access to education, blah blah blah. So what is this? This is bringing the current affairs. Bringing the current affairs in context. Always remember, when a question is been answered in the APSC mains, so hedo havat keteo huda nohobo. That has to have some connection with the current affairs. So understand the connection with the current affairs and ensure that you have written that connection with current affairs somewhere. Ensure that current affairs or connection has been put somewhere in your answer. Agar answer to the student had written about animal and others. So both hulo about toxic masculinity, misogyny and this that. So that student had put the context. So yeah, in the ideal answer we have put the context of subcategorized classes. Okay. Thus leading to alienization of backward caste amongst their own. No improvement in terms of psychology. Despite marginal tangible improvement of SCs, STs and OBCs, the intangibles are yet to change. Psychology of Indian society is the same by large. Intercaste marriages are still matters of honor killing. Incidences of sexual assault of backward women are more, and till now, despite being banned like manual scavenging, is been done by people belonging to particular communities. Till this remains, change is hard to get. So A2 at an important point. The same point was written by the student in conclusion. So more or less the answer is okay. The reservation is a must, and its reach to get trickled down must be carefully monitored by the government and government agencies. Administration must work above personal and social biases. Legislature must use surveys like caste-based census to make sure that the needy ones are not the only one who left out. Only then reservation will be successful completely. Okay. So junto amar conclusion ase, the student had also written the same. Je reservation has not fulfilled its utility yet, and till utility to fulfill no hobo till a point to akwa hise. Till this downtrodden discriminated population do actually realize the benefits of reservation. So okay. So this is how the ideal answer and Harry has been given. And the student answer I am showing you. So this is how the answer is supposed to be written. So we have this mains answer writing going on. We have about 10 slots left for the second batch. We have only about 10 slots left for the second batch. We don't take that much of students in batches, because personalized checking of the answers is very difficult to do, and you have to be personally check the answers. So एटार आंसर चाबले अलप टाइम लागि जाय, but जियो নহक किय आपनालोকক जितु क्वेश्चन दिया होइसे, check for the question, take screenshot of it, write by yourself and match the answer with the answer, with the answer that we have been given here. এটু লগত আপনালোকে match করিব. But আৰু এটা বস্তু, what we have seen in my students as well, that they have a tendency of mukhasta, a tendency of memorization. A2, tendency of memorization. A memorization or juntu concept hoy, etu eta garbage binot bhorai dibo. Because you cannot memorize a question and then put it in the answer sheet. That is only giving you a direct ticket outside the services. এই বস্তুটো মই বাৰে বাৰে সকলোকে ক, ষ্টুডেন্ট বিলাকৰ টেন্ডেন্সি আছে কোনবা ইনষ্টিটিউটত লিখাই দিয়ে হেতু মুখস্থ কৰি পেলাই কপি পেষ্ট মাৰিব, অলৱেজ ৰিমেম্বাৰ যে যেতিয়ালৈকে আপোনালোকে মেমৰাইজেশ্যন কৰিব, ইউ আৰ গেটিং আ ডাইৰেক্ট টিকেট। এই বিগ বছৰ যে টিকেটটো ফিনালে দিয়ে, ইউ আৰ গেটিং আ টিকেট আউটসাইড দ্য ছাৰ্ভিচেছ। নাই কোনো টিকেট ইনসাইড নহয়, আউটসাইড দ্য ছাৰ্ভিচেছ। চ' বি অৰিজিনেল, be original, learn to analyze, only then you are going to get an inside ticket to the services. Okay, so this is it. The like, share, subscribe to Sandpaper APSC. Okay, this is it. So like, share, subscribe to Sandpaper Academy for Civil Services. We are trying to do the best for you guys, and thank you. Good girl.